Good morning, Fleetwood. It's Friday, January 20th, 2023, day 5 in the 6-day cycle. It's a new semester, and so we're halfway through the school year. For this week's segment, Ava looked into the resurgence of the vinyl. Let's check it out.
This isn't the 70s, is it? Records are obsolete in today's world thanks to modern technology, and yet still, plenty of people are reaching for their turntable instead of their phone. Why is that? Since their creation in 1929 by RCA Victor, vinyl records have gone in and out of pop culture time and time again, and the 2020s are not immune to that trend. The cause is widely debated and really open to interpretation. Some people find it to be a rebellious choice.
But I always think it might have been like a little bit of a backlash to the whole digital age and downloading and stuff like that, where you had your audiophiles coming out of the woodwork and really, wanting to go to the record stores and digging through the bins for these rare records and more hard to find records.
With a large depression in sales of vinyl coming from the rise of cassettes in the 80s, CDs in the 90s, and the digital revolution of the millennium, 2010 was ready to see vinyl make a comeback. And comeback it did. From 2015 on, vinyl has been creeping back into mainstream culture, with peaks in the spring of 2016 and again 4 years later in the spring of 2020. While this rebellious attitude may speak to some, to others, vinyl is just a whole different listening experience.
Mainly just because I think it gives you just a different sound, personally. I think I'm pretty good with picking up on different sounds and stuff from being a musician myself. So I can hear certain things coming out of a vinyl player with specific speakers over than just listening to it through my phone with earbuds or headphones.
Digital music must be translated from analog sound waves to a digital signal and then back to analog. Through this process, quirks in the music can be lost or compensated for. Meanwhile, the grooves in a vinyl record manage to capture all those waves verbatim, resulting in a sound more original to what the artist created. Distortion from wear and tear on records also creates unique popping and crackling, giving a more raw sound that some people enjoy. Enjoyment of vinyl doesn't end at the sound it creates. For some, it's just enjoyable to have a tangible piece of media.
It's something so special about being able to hold the music that you're listening to, and I just really like operating like a record player, and I don't know, just every physical aspect of it I really like, and I like that I can collect records, and it's just really cool for me.
While music may be the main focus of records, it's undeniable that visual aspects are a vital part of a record's timelessness. Visuals like album art came to be thanks to graphic designer Alex Steinweiss. Alex was working as an executive at Columbia Records in the late 1930s when he decided he wanted to take the blank and boring album sleeves that records came in and replace it with original art. From 1938 to 1945, Steinweiss designed every graphic album cover from Columbia. Steinweiss also introduced liner notes, which hold quotes, descriptions, playtimes, discography, and more. He argued that these elements built emotion and affection towards a record before it was even played, and that sentiment resonates true now.
You've always had your collectors of music, and I think vinyl is a much more personal experience between the listener and the music lover, where you actually have that record in your hand with all of that artwork.
Vinyl records have a certain charm to them that affect all generations. Record collecting and really music as a whole sees no age. Situated in a residential and college town, Young Ones of Kutztown, Pennsylvania sees just about as diverse of a demographic as one could get.
Yeah, it really is everybody. You see college age over there right now. You've got the older crowd, of course, and I've sold, Journey and Foreigner records to 10-year-olds. So, you got it right across the board.
While there may not be a definite answer as to why vinyl is popular again, that doesn't change the fact that it is here to stay. So, if you're interested in vinyl culture or even starting your own collection, check out an independent record store near you. Reporting for Tiger TV News, I'm Evangeline Crossley.
Thanks, Ava. Now let's head over to Ian for today's sports.
Thank you, Riley. This is Ian Miller working double duty, filling in for Ben with your sports. In local sports, our girls basketball team lost this Tuesday against Brandywine, bringing their overall record to 6-8. They play again tonight against Tulpehocken at home. Our boys basketball team's undefeated record unfortunately came to an end last week when they lost against Mannheim Central. But they rebounded with 2 wins against Brandywine and Tulpehocken, bringing their overall record to 16-1. During the Brandywine game, senior Jake Carnish broke the Fleetwood all-time scoring record, originally held by Dave Angstadt for 40 years, with a point total of 1,201. Good job, Jake. In wider sports world, the Eagles play against the Giants this Saturday, which is a huge game, as it could be the deciding factor in whether they're the #1 seed for playoffs. The 76ers have gone 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they play the Detroit Pistons tonight at 7. And that should just wrap up this busy weekend in sports. Let's send it over to Riley.
Thanks, Ian. Next up are our weekly segments. First, let's head to Ms. Carino for this week's Random Ramblings.
What else could there be? Oh, I don't know how many are in here. Is that one? I think that's one. Dream vacation. Oh, my dream vacation. I don't know that I have a very specific location, but I guarantee it would be hot, like greenhouse on the equator kind of hot. Burning your feet on the sand on a beach, absolutely, 100%. Any place hot. This whole winter thing, this rain and cloudy, I just want to crawl into a hole with a blanket and a fireplace and hot chocolate.
I'd love to be on a beach vacation right now. Next, let's head in with Eli for This Week in History.
On January 17, 1991, Operation Desert Storm began when an aircraft from British and America targeted military and strategic points in Iraq. On January 18, 1997, a Norwegian explorer, Borge Osland, became the first to cross the Atlantic. On January 18, 1997, a Norwegian explorer, Borge Osland, became the first to cross the Antarctic alone after traveling for 64 days by skis or on foot. On January 19, 1920, a group of 600 volunteer nurses were on a task to help fight against the flu epidemic. It was reported that about 1,200 cases of this sickness had affected people within a 24-hour period of this date in Chicago. On January 20th, 1920, Prohibition took effect, stopping the sale and consumption of alcohol when the 18th Amendment went into effect. That's all for this week in Today in History. I'm Elijah Dove, reporting for Tiger TV News.
Thanks, Eli. Before we wrap things up, let's check in with the weather with Ian, who's doing double duty.
All right, quick correction. The Eagles are actually the #1 seed, and they are in the playoffs currently. On Saturday, they face the Giants. All right, so now for the weather, let's see what we got here. Starting at 8 a.m., it is mostly cloudy. The temperature is a high of 39, but it feels like 33. It gets a little bit warmer as the day goes on, but it gets a little bit more cloudy. All right, let's see what we got next. The radar, nothing much really on the radar. All right, let's see what we got for this weekend. So, high of 42, partly cloudy, low of 29 on Saturday, and it looks like that there is going to be Rain and snow tomorrow with a high of 42 and a low of 36 on Sunday. Let's kick it back over to Riley to wrap this thing up.
Thanks, Ian. That's all we have for you today. Have a great Friday and have a good start to the new semester.